Hello, friends. Just wanted to make another video and kind of link back a little bit to the last video. Um, I think it was the last video. Um, it was about the topic of leaning into it, and one of the interesting things that I've found in making these videos is sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, whatever the topic of the video is, it's a precursor to an event that's about to happen. And this has happened a few times. And so I think it was in the last video where or maybe it was a video like two videos ago, but I was talking about leaning into things, uh, like feelings and stuff like that. And so what was interesting was a couple of days ago, I had to go do some errands, and I mentioned that you know I'm pretty much a recluse. I don't go out much, and I don't like do stuff outside of the house and stuff like that. So sometimes uh, running errands is a big deal for me, um, and so I had to go and make a couple of trips. And so I had to drive into downtown. Not a big deal. It was, it was around lunchtime on a business day, so it wasn't too crowded, but I could feel a lot of anxiety coming on, and it was really interesting because I caught myself almost to the verge of having like a panic attack. And I mean, it wasn't that serious, but like my chest got tight, and I could feel like my emotions starting to um to shift, and everything started to speed up, and I felt a lot of anxiety. And so when I became aware of my emotions and my what I was feeling, I said this is the perfect opportunity to lean into that and to explore those those feelings and why I'm feeling it. And it it was a pretty helpful exercise, I must say. Um, I got like if I was to like rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, I went from like a 7 to a 4 or a 3. Uh, and I managed to get there pretty quickly too. Um, so maybe I prevented a panic attack or something like that. Um, but I thought that it was interesting because um, I realized that I just made a video about this, and you know, hey, here's a great opportunity to practice what you preach or to put into works, right? What you're talking about. And so, I breathed into it. I I leaned into it. I explored everything. Like, why are you feeling this way? Like, let's get to like the root, like peel back the layers and like figure out why you're feeling this way. And so it was pretty cool experience actually, and it was interesting because I wasn't I was just trying to calm down, right? To like slow my breathing down and to process through everything, not to like try to escape or make it go away or anything, just to understand and to like, you know, be present with everything that was going on. And so in the hopes of that, um I could uh process and transform instead of transferring it. And so what I mean by that is like, sometimes you get angry at somebody and you don't have the ability or you don't want to like process that, and you end up transferring it or like taking it out on somebody else, right? And so I guess, whenever I think on like things, that's like one of, I don't want to say my biggest fears, but that's something that I really want to avoid is um transferring what I'm feeling onto other people. And so, I was pretty happy with myself. It was a fun exercise, and you know, like I said before, it's not I don't I've come to the realization that I don't want to like try to come to a place where I'm never angry, or I'm never sad, or uh never scared or feel anxiety. I think like it's a good thing to experience because it's part of life. Like it's life. Like when you're in those moments, um, you really feel alive. And it might not be in the most pleasant way to live or to feel life or experience life, but it is another experience of life. And so I think, welcoming or embracing those moments is a lot better than having resistance to. And so that kind of brings me to the topic of the video. Is anger the resistance of love? And so you, it was interesting because, you know, as I was like working through the anxiety and stuff like that, um, part of me was like, um, reflecting, well, not reflecting, but I had an image of a river, right? And right away, it made me think of JJ and how, don't push against the river, right? And so oftentimes when I feel energy, I think of a river, a flowing river. And then, if there's something that you don't like, or, if there's like I don't know how to say it, like a shortcoming that you have or something, and it causes a trigger in you, then there's the resistance, right? So then I was shown like or I was visualizing like a flowing river, and then I just threw a boulder in it. And now I disrupted the flow of the energy or the flow of the river. And by creating that resistance, you build pressure. And so it's like, maybe, what I'm feeling, because I'm unsure, or I feel uh I feel a certain way in the moment, I created the anxiety for myself. But what I kept doing in that moment when I was feeling the anxiety the other day, uh, was I kept telling myself, uh, what if instead of feeling anxiety, I felt excitement? Um, and so as I kept saying that, I wasn't just saying it, I was like trying to feel it. So, I was feeling the anxiety, I was feeling the pressure, but I was like going into it, not just saying it, but like trying to feel the excitement, like convert the anxiety into excitement. And what would that feel like? Like, oh, I'm exploring a new place. Instead of feeling like nervous about it, I was like, ooh, I wonder what experiences I could have by this exploration. And so I tried to think of it as a child, as a child, like going to Disneyland, or, some new place, where there's wonderment, and I guess that's what helped me like transform um like my emotional state at the time, was just like exploring it through a different lens, not one of fear, but one of like wonderment, or not, or but and like instead of feeling the anxiety, I tried to experience it as excitement. And so like, that when you're in a place, or not a place, but like a state of being that is uncomfortable, you throw a boulder, or depending on like what level and like trigger you are, I guess, for lack of a better term, it determines the size of the rock that's disrupting the flow in your river. And so, you know, to me, um, the greatest emotion is love, and so maybe that's the greatest flow or energy that we can experience. And so, I guess that's where I got to, like, when I was exploring just like the flowing river, or the flow of energy, like what's the contrast to love? And for me, I thought, in the moment it was anger. And so it's like maybe all this is really love, but then like our experiences that we have through life, we see it differently depending on what the situation is. So like for me in that moment, because I was in a new place, a new situation, one that I wasn't comfortable in. It brought anxiety because uh, I wasn't in control, or like knew what my surroundings were like, and that's what I created, that boulder, we'll say, to put in my river of energy flow. And yeah, it was just an interesting experience to like work through it. But again, like, are we really experiencing just one emotion, or just two, rather, two emotions, either the flow of, or the resistance of? I guess that's probably what I'm trying to articulate. Sorry, it's one of those days where the words aren't coming out right, but that's okay. That's where I'm at in the moment, and I'm not gonna get upset, or um, freaked out about it to where I have to be perfect. I think, like, I guess that's what's so great about the community is there's hardly ever any judgment. Um, like, everybody's allowed to be, well, in the community, rather, I should say. Um, so many people give grace to wherever people are at, and so I feel like, before I used to, like, oh, it doesn't look right, it definitely doesn't sound right. There's a lot of uhs or ums, or I don't sound very educated or proper. um, and that used to kind of bother me, because like, maybe I don't present well, or it shows me in a light that's not one that I find endearing. But I was watching somebody's video, and they also said that, like, their imperfections, maybe, for lack of a better term, because I can't remember the full quote, but it kind of bothers them, and they'll delete a video. And I thought the opposite. I thought, like, in watching, well, I'll just say it was Kelly's videos, Kelly Bach. Um, I I find her imperfections, like, very endearing, actually. And it it was kind of sad to hear that she deleted videos, because she has so many good things to say and good things to put out there in the world. And so it was a reminder to me, like, um if you've like, for myself, like, um if I struggle, or if I have a hard time, articulating myself, I don't think most people won't, um, come down on me for it. And quite frankly, I think um, it's a good thing because I always wanted to be, authentic. And so I guess it's better to show all of me instead of only part of me. And if part of me is the imperfection, then uh, it should be shown, and I'm okay with that. Um, as far as like showing my imperfections and stuff like that, so I do get, well, it used to bother me, but coming to that realization, like I enjoy seeing Kelly's like stumbles or something like that, you know, um, her imperfections or the fact that she's not like a professional podcaster or something. Like she's just very authentic, and that's what I appreciate. And I guess that's what I want to put out there. And so I shouldn't feel like I should apologize. And it's not to you, but it's to me, right? It's to it's to myself. I shouldn't like feel the need to apologize to myself for not being perfect. Um but maybe I should end it here because I don't want to ramble on too long. Um and I'm drifting further away from the topic of the video. Um, but yeah, so if we're gonna reel it back in a little bit, um, the resistance of love and that yeah, I don't know why. I just keep seeing the flowing river and you know, when I throw a boulder in there or a rock, depending on how I'm feeling, in that moment, I create that resistance and that's it turns into like pressure, right? The buildup of pressure, or it disrupts the love or changes it from love to something else. And so part of me was wondering, like I was contemplating, is there like only really two emotions, like the one side of love and then the opposite side of it? I don't know. It's probably not the case. I just like to explore thought, and I hope nobody takes what I say as truth, because it really is just an exploration. And you know, I probably contradict myself to a lot, in time because um, I think of myself as like I don't want to say a moving target, but like I realize that thought pattern, like belief systems and stuff like that, can change, and a lot of that is happening very quickly recently, as I explore thought. And I'm not even afraid to like think the wrong thought because I guess I'm not really caught up too much into right and wrong because I really do feel like everything is about experience. And so, like, if thinking the wrong thought gets me to have an experience that is beneficial to me, then was it really wrong? Um, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else or myself. But I just find like, if you think a certain way about something and it gets you to a certain point that makes you have the opportunity to be a better person, then you're so much better for having the wrong thought because being right is not always a win. Sometimes losing or having the wrong thought or thinking incorrectly can get you to a place that's much better than just winning the moment. Um, but yeah, I think this is long enough. Um, I just wanna say thank you for the people that do throw comments down there, even if it's just like, "Hey, cool video," or whatever. Um, I guess right now I'm in a space where, curiosity, as to how people are receiving these videos are helpful. Uh, I guess helpful for me to process, right? Not because like I'm gonna change anything in the videos or change the content. It's always gonna be like, oh, this is what I was like thinking about the other day, or I came across this, because that's usually how my videos are. Like, oh, I saw this video and it made me think of this. But I don't know. I'm not afraid to like reflect and look inside. And so, like your comments do help. I take it all in, and I think they're all good. Whether it makes me feel good or not, I think that's irrelevant because, you know, feelings can change, over time or with different perception. If even if somebody had a negative comment like, um, I don't know, well, whatever, like you ramble too much or that's it's okay. Not a big deal. It's just something to think about. But thank you all for putting comments and sharing your thoughts, whether it's in the video or like when I see you along the way. I appreciate it. So hope this finds you all well and see you on the next one.